What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show again. Hey everyone, we need to create this video. We have to release it. Everyone is going crazy over YouTube videos and cryptocurrency on Twitter. Why is it becoming less expensive? I fail to comprehend. How should I proceed? Must I sell? It's frightening. This move was inevitable, as we have been telling you. We advised you to anticipate returning to less than $3 in the first video of the day. We even shared our expectations for when XRP will rise again and run to that new area of interest in the $4 range. It is highly recommended that you listen to it if you haven't already. Allow me to briefly demonstrate it for you. This is where it is. The title of the video is 100x price boom. We reviewed Bitcoin's objectives in the first 3 minutes. I told you the location. I showed you the precise circle on this chart. I pointed out this green area to you. Bitcoin, pay attention to 108 to 110,000. I told you. Let us now take a moment to reflect about this. What would happen to the rest of the market, in your opinion, if I told you that the price of Bitcoin would be declining? The market as a whole declines along with it. Why is that? Rest in peace. Let me tell you about it. Bitcoin is the market leader in cryptocurrencies. What is there in Bitcoin? A 60-something% supremacy, which means that everyone else's assets will do what Daddy Bitcoin instructs. Additionally, when Daddy Bitcoin determines that it is time to rise, the market as a whole will follow suit. It really is that easy. I have now informed you about the decline in XRP. Since I posted it to the Patreon group, I've been yelling about it in my last 2 videos. I put it at the beginning of those videos since I know that most of you don't watch all the way through. All you had to do was listen. But according on YouTube analytics, I can determine that the majority of you listen until roughly 5 or 6 minutes in. People, let's be honest now. Your favorite small asset will be yours when I inform you that Bitcoin is declining. XP, XLM, HBERT, Avalanche, Subby, Chainlink, oh no, you name it. And I don't care. Your cryptocurrency is going down with it, so put it in. And here's the thing. I provided all of this information without charging. I went so far as to write on Twitter about it, explaining in detail what was going to happen. The message reads, "Where are all the people who told you XRP was never going under $3 again? You must read this post," I urged, putting up small emergency signs. They were clowns. As I mentioned, they have no understanding of markets. As I mentioned, I have been here since 2017. This group has been making outrageous predictions that are consistently incorrect since 2017, as I have mentioned. After that, they try again and again until, by pure chance, they get it correctly one day. They also act as though they called this maneuver. I can see everyone's anger in the YouTube comments, but here's the issue. They are playing with your feelings. You are growing weary. You're growing irritated. You will do something utterly foolish and catastrophic. Additionally, you're going to leave your position. Don't do it. You must understand the cycles and exercise independent thought. Here is the post on Patreon. This is where you can see the release date for days prior. Now, if you are not a patriot, that's okay since I like to tell the public about very essential, urgent, and crucial improvements that I think will impact many new holders and even former holders. These days, I release several XRP charts per week. They usually release on Monday, but occasionally on Tuesday, as we prefer to watch how the markets will open to gain a better understanding. What to look out for was explained in this very piece. Your perfect entry, I said. Keep an eye out for price movement and reversal signals, strong wicks, bullish engulfing candles, etc. From about $2.99 to $2.78. We call this your accumulation zone. The bulls will be looking for buyers to return to the market at this point. A wild slide all the way down to $1.90 might occur if we close below to 178. That is not, in my opinion, the situation at this time. I can see from the charts that this isn't the case. But we can never be absolutely sure that this figure, this 278 region, will hold because the markets will be impacted if some insane global event occurs tomorrow or in the coming days. Call it a black swan, if you will. But we want to hold this territory with the structure we are now considering. At what point do we realize we are leaving this show early next week? We'll know. On my channel, I have been preaching that XRP will begin to rise and break out to the upside in the second half of August. All of this is recorded. It's everything. Every video is available for free. The group known as the Patriots. Yes, you have to pay a little to acquire the information, but to be honest, if you pay $5 a month, you'll get one of the XRP charts, since I always post one for the $5 fan club level. The monthly cost is $5, alright? Additionally, it is available on YouTube. You get the same chart on YouTube if you choose to use ad-free. What are we looking at now? 278. We are examining the surroundings. Then we search for the reversal back up to the upper side. It's pulling back, then. It's not insane. This is a good thing, and I'll show you the XRP chart. This is a great way to recover from a really high XRP run-up. Examine the run-up. Here, July was the current month. Is my small circle visible to you? Is July 9th. Take a look at the run-up we just experienced. If the run-up from July to the wicks top were measured, we made a 60% move. Now, what are we seeing? We are observing that barrier, the breather, to ensure that our prior levels of resistance have now turned into levels of support. It's typical. However, given the way previous moves have turned out, we're probably nearing the end of this correction, which is where things become interesting. I intend to continue observing the important time frame for the upcoming few days. As I mentioned before, I prefer to watch these moves through Monday's daily closures. Therefore, by Tuesday, August 5th, we will have the data from Monday towards the beginning of the week, and we will be able to say with absolute certainty if this is the bottom or whether it is ready to rise up and blow up. What do we know to do next? The price of XRP is going to skyrocket. We will enter our first area of interest, which we have been discussing for a while, which is the $44 to $5 range, as XRP continues to rise. That's what I'm considering for XRP. Keep in mind that the higher we go now, before we hear about the lawsuit ending, which we don't want to hear about just yet, and before we hear about the ETF switch we also don't want to hear about just yet, the more likely it is that you will have double-digit percentage returns. It will thus work as a springboard to propel this thing forward by the end of August, if we still don't have any news, which I hope we don't, and XRP is breaking out. Let's combine all of the good news and momentum. I have been predicting that the bull market will end at the end of the year. We discussed the M2 in the morning video, so it's still a bit early to tell, but if that's the true and this does end and XRP reaches its blow-off parabolic peak in Q4, the next 5 months will be absolutely crazy. My concentration is focused on that, and we can somewhat retract this chart when we return and can examine it. This illustrates how effective that move was. It was serious. Pulling this down even more will allow us to complete our little fib aim from the start of the year to its lowest points, after which we can make adjustments as we go higher. As you can see, the range of 420 to 540 is exactly where we are interested in moving. You know what I said? If we get wild and something amazing happens on XRP, the 4.236, that $38 XRP, guess what? The range is not out of reach. However, for cautious purposes, and to ensure your understanding, we sort of keep emphasizing that we're aiming at this 720 to 1150 objective. And that matches my 8 to 12, 8 to 13 number, which we have been shouting and preaching for a while rather well. It should be noted that this does not account for or take into effect the money that will be pouring in from ETFs, the institutional side of things, or any utilities. A lot can alter. This is merely an